What do you say we could have better and let's get at her? Welcome everyone to Race Time Radio, all live tonight on Sirius XM Channel 167 Canada Talks. Also live on RaceTimeRadio.com. And for our second time, hello to everybody out in YouTube land. You can follow along at RaceTimeRadioTV on YouTube. We are all live on there too. Junior in the studio as well. What's going on there, Junebug? How are you?
Hey, just a busy weekend of racing.
Another busy weekend of racing.
Yeah, I tell you what, we're winding down towards the end of the season. But definitely getting some racing in to close out the year, and looking forward to what is to come over the next 4 to 5 weeks.
Oh, yeah, you got lots still to come, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely not necessarily the busiest with travel,
right,
but the busiest with amount of races.
Yeah.
Between Championship Weekend at Delaware, Autumn Colors, the Oktoberfest weekend at Flamborough, Velocity Weekend at Sunset. There's a ton of racing between now and the end of the year. So before we pack it all in for the winter season, but definitely a lot of fun.
Well, you got a win on Friday night at Delaware Speedway with the 51.
Does a heat win count? I don't think it does.
Sure does. A checkered flag shot.
Hey, a checkered flag picture, I guess. They never used to do checkered flag pictures for heat wins at Delaware, but now they do. So I guess if there is a picture that exists, then it counts. But
things are a changing.
It was pretty cool. I sent you a text from in the spotter stand. I spent years at Delaware Speedway.
Yeah.
Spotting against Ron Sheridan and Steve Robley and all those guys. And this year, I've got a chance to spot for Jake Sheridan.
Yeah.
And now Matt Robley, which is
next generation.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. It was a lot of fun working with them. They were a little bit shorthanded, and as well got to work with my buddy Rick Verburn. Man,
he had a fast 88, man.
It should have been a picture with the Super Stock as well, but unfortunately got tied up with a lap car coming to the checkers and just got blocked. And it was a bum deal, but we're going to talk to the winner of that race.
Yes, we are.
We'll
news.
Poke and prod at the winner of that race, but Pete is a great dude.
Let me tell you who we got coming on the show tonight, and it is stacked, so to speak. We got Ashton Tucker going to join us right off the top of the show. Ashton went another 250. This time he did it in New Brunswick at Speedway 660. Now, we are a little bit behind here because we weren't on last week, so we got to get Ashton on this very show. Cole Butcher also going to join the show. He, while we were off, went out and won himself the iconic Oxford 250. He did that win, and how about this? He follows it up with another win just yesterday at Riverside International Speedway. So we got lots to talk to Cole tonight about. Then out to the west coast of Canada. We're going to go all the way out there and grab the Canada 200 winner. We got Korbin Thomas going to come on the show. We'll check in with him. That was a marathon run. I know it paid $50,000 for the Enduro at Flamborough Speedway just a couple days ago. But I'll tell you what, Korbin Thomas did a great job in the Canada 200, the final race at West Shore Speedway out there. We'll catch up with Korbin tonight. We'll get his thoughts on it. Ray Morneau from Delaware Speedway did a great job Friday night. He is the points leader, won his 4th feature win. So Ray Morneau is going to join us tonight. Pete Vanderwyst, the driver, the number 7 Super Stock that beat Joe and that Spark Power Machine on Friday night. Pete is going to join the show. And then we're going to hop back out to the west coast of Canada, and we're going to grab Al Labert, and we'll talk about the RS1 season finale that comes up next weekend at Penticton, at Area 27. That comes up just, in 6 short days. The season is going to wrap up out there on Canada's west coast. So that's what we got coming at you tonight. A lot of great guests, and it's going to be rapid fire here. But let's welcome in guest number 1, shall we? He went out and won himself another iconic 250 race win. He did it at New Brunswick, Speedway 660. And Ashton Tucker joins the show. What's going on tonight there, Mr. Ashton? How are you? Oh, what do you say? I turn your channel up, and then, you know what, Ashton, we're actually going to hear you. Let me ask you again, how you doing?
Oh, doing good. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic, man. Hey, congratulations on another iconic 250 win. Good job, man.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. It was a close one, but it was nice to be able to pick up another win in that race. It's the third one now in 4 years, so we'll take it.
Hey, a lot of leaders in that race. I watched it all on Flow Racing. You guys did a great job out there, man. You had to have a good car at the end of that race, and you did it once again.
You know, we were good all weekend in the 83. He was real good all weekend. But come race time, we're pretty even between the two of us. I don't know who would have won it as it came down to the end, but he ended up having some misfortunes there after the pit stops and kind of gave us a break. We didn't even really have to use our stuff up at the end, but it was nice to get another win.
Yeah, good car, good tires, good everything. The crew had to be spot on. There was a lot of cars in this one, Ashton.
Yeah, no, there's a good amount of cars. I think there's 24, 25, but yeah, no, your crew, they can't win you the race in the pits, but they can lose it for you. But our crew did a good job and made good changes on our car all weekend, and even at our pit stop, and put me in good position there after the pit stops, and we managed to get another one.
Ashton, obviously 250s are, kind of the norm now out in the East Coast. You guys run 250s, basically 3 times a year, in the Maritimes. But that racetrack itself, the racing surface is relatively, seasoned now. What does that racing surface do over the course of 250 laps? Obviously, without giving away your secrets, but what does the racing surface do over the course of 250, and does it change a lot as it rubbers in?
Yeah, I don't find it changes a ton, but it's just a wore-out track and not much grip, so I find it's a lot of saving your stuff. I feel like you can feel like you're saving stuff, but you're still using rough, so you just gotta be smart and be a good driver, I guess, and save yourself. I don't find it really changes from start to end, but a lot of it's managing your equipment and getting in there at the end. I feel like that's what puts the people up front late in them races at that track.
Too bad you didn't win the IWK 250, kiddo. You would have done it this year. You know how many guys have tried to get the 3 250s out on the East Coast? You got 2 out of the 3, and I know there's a handful that have done the same thing. But did you think of that after that 250 win in New Brunswick, going, damn, I just missed it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I did think about it after we won the second one, but it's tough enough to win one of them, so we're thankful that we were able to pull off 2 of them, and now the only one left up here is IWK for us for 250s to win, so it'd be nice to see if we can't pull that one off. We're getting better down there, but we'll see what happens. We'll try to see if we can't get it next year.
It seems like every year we talk about somebody coming close or shooting for or trying to get that Triple Crown. It is an unofficial Triple Crown, right?
Oh,
If you won all 3, if you won the IWK 250, the Cat 250, or what's the name of it now?
It's the Summer Clash.
The Summer Clash 250 at Scotia Speed World, and then as well the 250 at 660. It is a 100% official or unofficial Triple Crown. Wouldn't it be cool if they did something around that?
Oh, yeah.
I think that the tracks are missing out. I know that it is unofficial right now, and it's still talked about, but I honestly feel that if those tracks did something around that, whoever wins the first one obviously is the only one that gets a shot at it. But it would be really cool to see somebody actually pull it off, because it has never been done before, right?
Well, I don't know if it's never been done. I shouldn't say that, but I know in our day, over the last 12 years, everybody's talked about it, but nobody's actually went out and done it.
Yeah.
Did you race Riverside yesterday, Ashton? I didn't see your name up near the top. Did you race it?
No, we just had to take the weekend off this weekend. We're going to get ready for next weekend of the Mike Stevens and focus on that race and see how that goes.
Well, nothing wrong with that, man. You've had your foot to the floor a long time this summer. What else you got planned? You got Mike Stevens coming up. Is that going to be your final race of 2022, or have you got anything else planned? Is there anything else going on out there?
There's a couple races left, but I'm not really sure what we all plan on running. I think we plan on running the Mike Stevens and probably end up going to that Jim Holohan 200 there at Scotia at the end of the year. But other than them two, I'd say that'll be it for our year.
Oh, and you know what? My mistake. I kind of thought that the Mike Stevens was after that 200, but you're in fact correct. Next weekend, Mike Stevens, and then it wraps up for the Pro Stock Tour at Scotia Speed World. But two big ones, Ashton. You've definitely done a great job this year. Congratulations on the New Brunswick win, and we will obviously keep your seat shined up right here for you, buddy.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for having me again, and hopefully maybe talk again next week. And after the Mike Stevens, it won't be too bad, but it'll be tough.
And Ashton, you got a circle on your calendar. If you've only got the 2 races left, you know, with that big win, you got a little bit of traveling money. Peterborough Speedway Autumn Colors.
Oh, yeah.
You should load up and come down and play with the Ontario guys. By the sounds of it, there's going to be a huge car count. I believe it's 168 laps this year. And it's going to be quite the event. And I know that a Pro Stock car would fit that rules package like a glove. And you know, it's only a hop, skip, and a jump, man. What would it be like? Maybe like
16
maybe
hours?
like 13,
Maybe
13 and a half.
13
and a half
there.
hours.
Yep.
Yeah, you could do that in your sleep.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be too bad. It'd definitely be nice to go up there and try a few races, or down in the States and try a few, but probably not in the cards for this year. But hopefully in a year's time we can get some more traveling in and try some different tracks.
Well, we'll work on Brad Siliker. We'll work on him for you, okay, buddy?
Yeah, that's the man you got to talk to.
Yeah, no kidding. It'll be great to see you at Peterborough Autumn Colors Classic weekend, October 7th, 8th. It's a staple event here in the province of Ontario, if not this country. So it would be kind of cool to see you at Autumn Colors. But Ashton, congratulations on the success. We keep your seat shined up. I told you that before. I mean it.
Yeah, well, appreciate it. Thank you, guys, and we'll talk again sometime, hopefully.
Absolutely. That is Ashton Tucker. Ashton Tucker. Tucker, yeah. And he drives the number 2.
What were you trying to do there?
I don't know. I was thinking Dustin for a second.
Nope.
Dustin Tucker.
Nope.
And then I went, no.
You were thinking
no.
Sean Tucker for a second.
Ba-boom.
Yeah, I got it. You can mess it up but say it right at the same time.
I tell you what, it's been a busy weekend. Did a body job on my truck, me and my buddy Grant, and it was a busy weekend. You want to see the color? I think I got still some on my hand here a little bit.
If you don't drive into things, you don't need to work on the body.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't drive into anything.
I'm just kidding.
It had cancer like me. I got fixed, so we might as well try and fix the truck. We're going to hit a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have the Oxford 250 winner, his name, Cole Butcher. I know him real well, and we're going to have him on the show. Stay with us.
Come on, wake up, I got a little money coming my way. We got to get out of here. If you find me some cigarettes, little whiskey and me.
From coast to coast, you're listening to Canada Talks.
No one else, only you, Mr. Never Say Die. Your 8-year-old car running like new? That's all you. And your friend, Mr. Transmission. Transmissions, that's their specialty. Over 350 different types, making Mr. Transmission Canada's undisputed transmission and technology expert. Book your free multi-check inspection at your local Mr. Transmission to keep it running smoothly. How long will your car last? As long as you want it to. Thanks to your friend.
Hey, mister, you're a friend of mine.
Even though Napa is a nationally known name, nearly all of our stores are built from the ground up by local owners and families. People you might call neighbors will be here, there, and everywhere. Doing what neighbors do to keep their communities moving forward. You stop by a Napa Auto Parts store, you can count on Napa know-how.
Tonight's Race Time Radio is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts Stores, New Glasgow, Antigonish, and Port Hawkesbury, Nova Scotia. You can count on Napa know-how.
AP Race Fuels, the worldwide leader in race fuel technology. Epic Racewear. Look, feel, be epic at epicracewear.ca.
Now, a flashback in Canadian music history. Here's Eric Alper.
Rush holds a special place in our hearts and in the record books. They've sold more than 40 million copies around the world. They have a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and officers of the Order of Canada. And they've released 24 gold records and 14 platinum albums, placing them 5th for the most consecutive gold or platinum studio albums by any rock band.
From the high banks of Daytona, we cover it all. Ooh, that's going to leave a mark. And now, back to the Joes.
Hey, shake and bake, Cal! Woo! Shake and bake!
Here on Race Time Radio.
And welcome back, everybody, to Race Time Radio. All live tonight on Sirius XM Channel 167 Canada Talks, along with RaceTimeRadio.com and our brand new YouTube channel at RaceTimeRadioTV. Give us a check out on that. Don't forget to hit subscribe and give us a like or whatever you do on YouTube. It would be much appreciated. I'm Joe Chisholm, along with Joe Chisholm Jr. in the studio. And on the hotline, how about the Oxford 250 winner? Iconic race, first Canadian to win it since, I don't know, Derek Lynch did way back in the books. And also won at Riverside International Speedway just yesterday. Let's welcome in Cole Butcher. What's going on, 53? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Man, have you had some results here in the last couple of weeks, buddy? Good for you.
Yeah, thank you. We were able to finish second, but they disqualified the other competitors. But we came out with the win, and then we have Oxford, so it's been a good month.
I guess so. Let's go back to the Oxford 250. I wasn't able to watch that one. Didn't have time to tune into it. So you got to take us through it, bud. Qualifying, how did it go? Where did you start? All that good stuff.
We started second early race and finished fourth. There were just no outside lanes. So we maintained her. We ran outside Cassius for a number of laps and got shuffled back. So we started 20th in the feature. Kind of just roll around for the first 100 and so laps. Then came in, put 4 tires on and made our way through the field, past 20 cars in the last, 68 to 80 laps, I think. And we were able to come away with the win.
You got to love it when a plan comes together. Now, what was the reception like? Of course, that's an iconic U.S. event. And now you're Canadian going in there and winning the event. Was the reception still warm for you, Cole?
I don't know if you call it warm.
Lukewarm.
But, we got the win, and that's what matters. It's unfortunate the way it happened with Johnny doing what he was doing, and, us getting into the back of him, but I don't see where I was able to go, so that's that. But, some people were happy, some people were mad, but I guess it doesn't really matter at the end of the day as long as Portrait Racing's happy and we have the trophy.
That's right. You bring your friends with you to the racetrack, right? That's the way that it works.
Yeah, it is.
Cole, obviously, you've tried. You're still a young guy, but you've tried that race a number of times now. To get the monkey off your back, obviously, you've been fast. You've shown speed every single time that maybe not every single time that you've went there, but basically every time that you've went there, you've shown speed and shown, your competitiveness. But what's it like to finally get the monkey off the back and get the win?
This year at Oxford's been big. We won our first race there, and then we were able to come back for the 250 with the same setup, same car, with some really great people on both sides of the border, and just put everything together. I can't thank my team enough. Everything just kind of went perfect all weekend. Everybody was calm, cool, and collective, and we had fun doing it. So, it was just a great weekend overall.
Now, was that your 53 car, and I just maybe missed the tail end of that, or was that your Donnie Wilson 53?
It was my 53.
You're 53. Man, now, does that sort of lead us into the Snowball Derby and some more U.S. action, maybe taking your car south, or are you going to stick with Donnie, I guess?
I have a car at a shop. I've had one there the last number of years. So I guess it's a Butcher car, ran out of Wilson Motorsports. Same car as Wilson Motorsports have. So right after Scotia 200, we go to Oktoberfest, Winchester, All-American, and then the Derby. So we still have a busy end of the year coming up.
Oh, I see.
Oktoberfest, Winchester, All-American 400, and then the Derby.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
That'll get some Canadian fans that get you wound up.
That's an ambitious schedule right there, Cole. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it'll be busy, but I know you guys are up for it, definitely. Okay, let's propel now into Saturday. Riverside International Speedway. You've had limited success at that racetrack. It still, I know, doesn't rank number one on your I love going to that facility tracks, but it's got to be a little more bittersweet with a win there yesterday.
Yeah, we took our empty car, which is only 3 races old, to that race, try to test for the IWK next year. We were third on the board all day, Swan went proud. Proud kind of had everyone covered by a couple of tenths. He was good, King Racing put together a great race car, plus he had that big motor. So he was kind of class of the field. Me and him were probably five car lengths apart from each other all race. I'd gain and then he'd take off again. So he was kind of the class of the field. So we crossed the line second. Tech found something wrong with his motor, and they tossed him. So it's not the way we want to win, but obviously we're not going to complain about it.
No, you're not going to complain at all. Your car clears, Tech his doesn't. Did you happen to hear what he got bounced for, or did you even bother to hear?
No, they were taking camshaft, and I guess the camshaft didn't pass for the rules with the big motor, so I guess that was the problem.
Yeah, that's different to hear. You think of a built engine, you wouldn't necessarily look at the stick, I wouldn't think, but if there's rules, you got to go by them, and that's just one of those deals. But that I know what you mean. The 29 has been lights out all year. He's been running really, really well. Of course, the IWK 250 winner, Greg Proud, and it's got to be tough too, Cole. Probably what it's like running with the built engine under your foot. You got to really be ginger around that racetrack, or you're going to burn those tires right off the car, and then you haven't got nothing near the end, right?
No, that's right. Our tires are pretty forgiving, so you can kind of go what tires you want all race. They're pretty hard tires compared to what we run down south or run at Oxford. So, once you have a good car, I think the big motor is the way to go, and I'm pretty sure you're going to see a number of them out there next year, including myself.
There you go. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? So, when do you load up then? Are you going to do the Mike Stevens? Did you have that in your repertoire of lineup?
Yeah, we were going to go test tomorrow, but after Riverside, my car just wanted to take a break and make sure everything was 100% at the shop, and we'll go up Friday, spend the night. And hopefully get that one off our bucket list. We've given it away a couple of times. We've been fast every time we've gone. So it'd just be nice to check that one off the bucket list also.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be one of those good ones.
The bucket's got to be getting kind of shallow here. Cole, what's all? I know that there's always the next big race, right? And you could win every big race out there, and then it's just going to be a new bucket. New races added to the bucket that you want to go for multiple times. But that being said, what is on Cole Butcher's bucket list? I think that their listeners would really like to know that. Of what's on the horizon for you. What is on Cole Butcher's bucket list in the next 5-10 years?
It's actually not that big. It's just the Derby. I guess it's 5. Derby, All-American, Winchester, Mike Stevens, IWK 250, and then 660 250. So it's not that big. It's not too small. It's just kind of perfect. So hopefully over the next handful of years we can start checking them off.
Yeah.
But you can check them all off this year other than the IWK. So just go get them all.
Just go out there and get them all, bud.
Easier said than done.
Oh, I can well imagine. And you got to know, too, Jarrett, your brother, that guy's been just nipping at your heels for how many years now? I'd say a good 3 or 4 of them. He's still, again, just right there.
Yeah, Yeah, you know, him and his team have been working hard. We're struggling with a little bit of small things, but, you know, he's always there. He's top five pretty well every single race. So, you know, top fives will turn into top threes consistently, and then top threes will turn into victories. So, you know, they're going to get it eventually, and once they do it, they're going to keep rolling.
Yeah, you're probably right. And then they're going to be unstoppable, just like that 53, that red machine of Cole Butcher. Cole, this has been great catching up with you, man. Good luck at the Mike Stevens. We got your seat warmed up here, like always. And we're definitely going to get the winner on of the Mike Stevens Memorial that happens at Petty International Raceway. And then, of course, the big Pro Stock Tour wrap-up at Scotia Speed World. That is always a track that you got to love racing at because you win.
Yeah, we've given up two to three races this year. We should have won. Same with Petty. We should have won the last race we were there. So, you know, our season's finally turning to our direction, and hopefully it just continues to go that way.
I don't want to start anything between you and Dad here, but he said the exact same thing to Ashton Tucker in the interview before. He said he's going to keep his seat warmed up for the Mike Stevens Memorial, too.
Ashton's been good there, so it's going to be probably 3, 4, 5 guys that are able to win that race, so I guess it just depends on how I'm most the best on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, going to be incredible, bud. You have a good one, and we can't thank you enough for coming on here and doing everything and sharing those magic moments with us, bud.
No, thank you guys very much, and have yourself a good night.
You betcha. That is the Atlantic Tilt Load 53 of Cole Butcher. Always a great guest on the show. He always jumps on with us, and we surely do appreciate his participation. And that's an iconic win, Joe. That guy is getting good at it. You got to know. Snowball Derby, the guy started from the pole. All-American 400 started from the pole. He is going to close these deals eventually.
Yeah, you know, Cole Butcher is already moving into junior Hanley territory. You know, when you start looking at, obviously it's a little bit different because Junior built his own cars, right?
Yeah.
Today's day and age is a little bit, I would say, way more difficult to do that. But you know, when you look at, you know, if somebody put a mic in my face and said, "Who is the next Junior Hanley in Canada?" Cole Butcher.
Yeah.
That's the only way that I can put it.
Cole be the man.
You know, I've heard people say the exact same thing about J.R. Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
I would say that. I would say that, but he doesn't have the distance on the late model side. He's got the distance in the Xfinity and the Truck Series, and you know that end of it. But late model, we're talking.
Right.
Cole Butcher. You know, you look at the results that he's had on the speed chart at the Derby, at the All-American, even at Winchester as well. He's a notable name. He doesn't roll in through the back gate and then everybody says, "Who's that?"
Who's that? Yeah,
everybody knows who the 53 car is. Even, you know, everybody on the left side of the chart knows who he is.
Yeah. I remember, just as you say that, I can remember Mike Weaver, 3 years ago, was covering the Derby, and he went down through all the list of names, and right down near the bottom he had the 53 Cole Butcher from Canada.
Yeah.
And I texted back to him, or Facebook message back, and I said, "Hey, Matt, that 53 from Canada is going to turn some heads this weekend. Be aware that 53, you're going to know who Cole Butcher is before the end of the weekend."
Yeah.
Be damned if Cole didn't go out there and stick it outside pole.
Yeah.
Outside pole. Yeah. And I said, "There, told you, buddy. Told you he was going to do some head turning." And he did. He did. That was the year, I believe, that the 51 car rode him high. And Cole hit the wall, I think, on lap 3.
Yeah, no, it's you know, it's really interesting. Obviously, Cole, you know, winning that Oxford 250, that's a big stake in the ground.
Ooh, big.
You know, you look at the names that have won the Oxford 250, and they're equal, if not deeper than the Snowball Derby winner list.
Yep.
You know, it's some of the greatest names in all of short track auto racing has won the Oxford 250. So, you know, if he can combine that with one of these triple crowns that are coming up, And really one of the four. Oktoberfest is a massive race as well. But you look at Winchester or Nashville or the Derby. Man, Cole's got a good shot at making a big name for himself, and it's really interesting. We ask a young guy like Cole Butcher, who's got the cat by the tail, just came off a big win.
Yeah. What's
on your bucket list? Not going, Pinty Series, not going truck racing, not going anywhere else. Late model racing is where he's his plan is to stay, and not to say that he wouldn't drive an Xfinity or a Cup car or a truck, whatever, but
he's got his heart.
He's got his heart, he's got his soul, he's got his brain invested in late model racing, and I think he needs to be commended for that, because man, he's turning lots of heads. Obviously, every time he straps into the car up here, he's a force to be reckoned with, but equal to that down there, and there's not the level of competition that you or not the level of competition. There's not the caliber of competitor out of Canada right now, other than him, that can do that or say that.
Right. Right.
You look at a guy like Brandon Watson going down there last year.
Did a great job.
Turned some heads and got a good finish out of it. Wasn't a force in the race. Wasn't a force in qualifying or practice.
Finished like seventh, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah,
seventh,
exactly.
Somewhere around there.
Yep. But while we're saying that, we do have to give a big congratulations, I do at least, to Caden Lapsevich. He won in the Outlaw Super Late Model last night at Perch Run for Bobby Blount in that 16 car. So big hats off to Caden Lapsevich for picking that one up.
Trayton was on the box.
Yeah.
So brothers stick together. Look at the success.
Absolutely.
Got to congratulate both of them. We're going to hit a quick break. When we come back, off to the west coast of Canada we go. We're going to try and grab Korbin Thomas. And in the next section, we're going to also get Ray Morneau. So got a busy segment coming up. Stay with us live on Race Time. It's time to get back to the racetracks. For over 30 years, Quick Fire Starters have fueled the sport on and off the track, making lighting your campfire as easy as 1, 2, 3. There's no need for kindling or paper. Just pop your Quick Fire Starter in the pit, add your wood, and presto, you're a pro. Quick Fire Starters. No harmful chemicals, and guaranteed to light your fire every time. Quick Fire Starters, the world's best fire starter.
Rev TV, your motorsports and automotive destination. Watch live races from around the world and right here at home. From 2 wheels to 4 and so much more. Rev TV is your source for motorsports. Rev TV features exclusive race series, up-to-date news coverage, documentaries, how-to programs, and adrenaline-filled lifestyle programs 24/7. Go green with Rev TV. Contact your TV provider to order.
Tonight's Race Time Radio is fueled by AP Race Fuels, the worldwide leader in race fuel technology.
If you're a Springsteen fan, you just found the promised land. Hear rare interviews and performances. Live concerts. Is there anybody alive out there? Celebrity guest DJs.
This is Rob Lowe. Hey, baby, it's Little Steven here.
And more exclusives when listening to Bruce Springsteen's channel.
Welcome, Bruce Springsteen, to E3 Radio, your home away from home. Great to be here.
E3 Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 20.
No one else. Only you. Mr. Never Say Die. Your 8-year-old car running like new? That's all you. And your friend, Mr. Transmission. Transmissions, that's their specialty. Over 350 different types, making Mr. Transmission Canada's undisputed transmission and technology expert. Book your free multi-check inspection at your local Mr. Transmission to keep it running smoothly. How long will your car last? As long as you want it to. Thanks to your friend.
Hey, Mr. No Friend of Mine.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Welcome back. Race Time Radio.
I think I like it too. Joey Vinegar. Way to go, Joey. Google that guy. Google him. Joey Vinegar. He's got a lot of great tunes. Welcome back, everybody, to Race Time Radio, all live tonight on RaceTimeRadio.com, also on our Facebook, or pardon me, not on our Facebook, YouTube, our new YouTube channel, RaceTime Radio TV, and we should be live on Sirius XM Channel 167 as well there, Junior.
We should be.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we are. Having trouble connecting, something wrong at the Toronto end, but I do believe they are picking us up on our live stream, so hopefully that potential part is working. But anyway, we are going to work on getting Korbin Thomas, the winner of the Canada 200. I think we are here early for Korbin. He's out on Canada's west coast, so that's okay. We will grab a Ray Morneau, and we will put Korbin over in hour number 2, which will be no problem. Well, maybe we'll have Korbin right now. I hear the phone ringing.
We're hearing phones ringing. We're hearing hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, Korbin will be saying, hey, you're calling me kind of early. But that's okay. The Canada 200, Joe, you probably didn't get an opportunity to watch it.
I didn't.
It was live on Rev TV.
Yep.
And let me tell you this about that. What a long, long race.
Yeah.
The poor guys struggled. They started 34 cars in the race. And it is a track about, well, I believe it is 0.4 of a mile.
Yep.
So just a little under a half mile.
Yep.
But they got some real tight turns.
Yep.
And the guys did struggle. There is absolutely no doubt they struggled. There was a lot of contact. There was a big separation between the have and the have-nots of that race. Not even close to what we've seen in the Western Rattler 300. That was a very quick-paced race, not a lot of cautions. We did the full race, I want to say, in 2 hours and 59 minutes out there, and that was everything. That had the intros, that had the cautions, that had everything in it. We had a really, really good race in the Western Rattler 300. The 200 was caution-riddled.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a billion of them.
Yeah.
But it still was, for all intents and purposes, a not bad race. They started counting the cautions, which, you know, they're going to do. They finally went to single car restart or single file restart.
You know it's bad when you start having to do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but they didn't start doing that until about an hour after they should have.
Yeah.
Because the guys were struggling.
Yeah.
And you can see it. You can see it on the track. And when you see it on the track, now I got to give the cars credit because guys were going off with some pretty good damage. And they had guys ready to go, crew members ready, and they thrashed and got those cars put back together and got them back on the track. So they didn't lose a lot of cars, but they did, you know, they did have like quite a few cautions too many.
Yeah. Well, and to be honest with you, I remember last year's Canada 200. They ran it under the COVID guidelines.
Yep.
So they had no crew members in the pits.
Yeah.
Any contact, you were basically done.
Yeah.
They had nobody to work on the cars. They were only allowed to be the drivers, the TV personnel. There was no crew members at all allowed on the premises, or I think it was one person per car. So, you know, I think back to the last couple of years.
Yeah.
When you have a couple of years off and then you have a race like that where, you know, you're afraid to touch anybody, you know, you're bound to have some people riled up. And it being the last race at Western Speedway, you know, it's just an iconic race, and there's a bunch of people out there that wanna capitalize on that, right? They want to win that last race, and you know, it's the recipe for disaster for the track owner, for the promoter, and for the drivers as well. You know, it's kind of like the finale at your local short track. I mean, when you don't got to fix it for a year. You know, you don't need to fix it until next spring. That's one thing. When the track is going away, and a number of those guys will be done racing, likely, unless they find a new home for the track, that's a recipe for disaster even more. So,
yeah.
You know, it's definitely tough to see. But That being said, there's still a winner at the end of the day, and it'll be good to talk to him.
And that winner is Korbin Thomas. He actually joins us on the hotline right now, and he has got a lot of iconic races, but I bet you this one ranks right up there. Korbin Thomas, how are you, buddy?
Doing really good, Joe.
That a boy. So, does this one rank right at the very top of all those wins that we've talked about over the years on Race Time Radio, and maybe some of the ones that we haven't talked about?
No, it was an amazing night, and it's definitely one of the ones at the top. That's for sure.
What was it like to be in the car, Korbin, when you're running a race and you can't get any more than about, I don't know, 10 laps under green flag, and you want to make forward progress, and, oh, the yellow flag comes out again. What was that like?
Well, it's painful is what it really is. But this race is sort of, over the last couple of years, has kind of been a little bit of survival, and it wasn't unexpected, especially with the rains that came and prevented the run the Conti race and stuff. And so when they started all the cars, it was hard just to get the whole train moving. Just under yellow, we were catching the guys that started in the back before we even get moving. So it was it was a struggle. I mean, I haven't been in a field of cars that big in Canada for I don't think ever. So it was definitely awesome to see that many cars out. That's for sure.
It was. It was really refreshing to see that many guys in the field, and to see what was going on. Now, I was texting back and forth with a friend, and I said, "Wow, these guys are only like I don't know. You went green, and I want to say 5 laps later, here comes the first lap car." And I thought, how are these guys going to navigate their way through this when they start catching the back of the field? And lo and behold, there was a lot of cautions. But through all of that, you brought your car to the front, my friend, and you won the race. Those last 20 laps, last 25 laps, you had some adversity throughout the course of the night as well. And you and your team bounced back. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the race was going pretty normal right up until lap 122 restart, when I started outside front row, and we ended up having this weird come together, which left both of us, me spinning to the outside and the guy on the inside spinning as well. And of course, we were car 1 and 2, so we stacked up in front of the entire field, which didn't help anybody out. And then that sent us to the back, and we didn't really get any damage out of that. And then we just had to start chugging our way forward, which just changed our game plan a little bit, and took any of the holdback and kind of threw it out the window, and we just had to go.
Well, when the urgency kicks in, that's where really the professional short track racer behind the wheel starts going, okay, now is go time. No more saving. I got to go. And you did. You went. It was a heartbreaker for the guy, and I'm sorry, but I can't remember his name, that was out front that hadn't won, and he was really, really hoping to win himself this final 200. But, Korbin, you said, look, all sentimental stuff aside, I need to win this one, and it pays $15,000, and you did it.
Yeah, no, Kyle's car was perfect at the end of the race. Not a mark on the thing, and he didn't know how much he had left. And he's always fast. You have to you can't take him lightly at all. And I got what kind of came my way a little bit. I got another shot at him with another restart, and right at the end with the green white checkered, and that's what it took. It took all race long of just hard sweat to finally get it done.
Tell me, looking at it on television, it doesn't look like you guys were working with much banking at all, if any, down in turn 1 and 2 or down in 3, 4. How much banking is there at West Shore Speedway? Is there any?
I don't know. It's about 2 feet all across 60, I think. It's pretty flat. I mean, that place has been around forever, and there's occasionally a second groove out there, and such. So it's a very narrow groove racetrack. So it takes and everyone kind of runs it a little bit different, but yeah, no, there's no nice banking to cradle into the corner. It's it's flat.
From everything that I've seen, it reminds me of St. Eustache.
Yeah. Well,
just
Walmart parking lot.
The way that the billboards, are, the way that the track lays out. I've seen plenty of racing from the Speedway itself, and man, it reminds me of what St. Eustache was. So it's definitely interesting. And Korbin, you can photocopy that setup because you can bring your car out to Quebec iCar Speedway. They've got, of course, a 7-turn road course, a 14-turn road course, and they've got a true oval. Same idea though.
Oh,
completely flat.
Completely.
And just a lot of fun to watch. I actually really enjoy racing or watching racing on a really flat racetrack.
Well, it puts a whole new dimension in it, I can tell you that.
It definitely does.
And Korbin, you had the car to do it. What do you do now? Has there been any talk since the finale on maybe a new site? How are the plans coming, or have you got your ear to the pipe on that?
Yeah, I really don't. I just have what's kind of floating around.
Korbin, where did you go?
Oh,
there you go. You're back. You disappeared for a minute.
Sorry, I'm trying not to walk. I'm kind of outside of.
I got you, buddy.
Yeah, no, the Speedway, and they're putting a group of they got a group of people put together to try to raise money and organize and try to orchestrate this thing through. So hopefully in a couple of years here we'll see something. They definitely have there's stuff in the works which you keep hearing about, and then hopefully we'll start seeing some earth moving equipment happen soon. And as soon as that happens, I'm sure it won't take long before we start spinning laps again as a second racetrack on the island. So the great part is they do have another racetrack 2 hours north of where they are to try to hold all those cars, keep those cars busy until they get second Speedway up and running.
Now, is that closer to home or further away from home? Whereabouts are you exactly?
Well, for us, it's a ferry ride either way. So honestly, we can go to one track or the other, and I think the difference is only about half an hour driving once you get off the boat. So it's not too bad.
Well, that's Penticton's just going to have to put more late model races on, and everybody do their part. I know, is it Saratoga?
Yep.
Yeah, Saratoga. If they put on more shows, and like we get some more going at Penticton, maybe the late model count can survive it all. And then when Darrow gets all done his stuff out there, and they fire up another track, that would be all good news, buddy.
Oh yeah, no, it'd be awesome. No, they put on such a good show. The management staff at West Shore for that last race, they put exceptional parts up, they drug a bunch of cars out. I mean, they did lots of stuff for the races, and I think they put on a really good show for what they were given. That's for sure.
Hey, I've been on their end of the stick. Okay, we can do whatever we want to plan a race and get everything put into place, but as soon as we wave the green flag, it's all up to you guys behind the wheel, and I mean everybody. And hey, some nights it's tough, and other nights you can run green to checker and the thing be over with in the blink of an eye, and everybody will say, "What happened with that?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I've been part of a 200 that did exactly that. It went first 100 green checkered, second 100 green checkered, and ended sort of like, that was interesting.
Yeah, that's like a fireworks that doesn't go off, right?
Yeah.
Incredible. Yep. Well, the fireworks definitely went off, and the winner of the final Canada 200 historic race is Korbin Thomas. And Korbin, congratulations on that race. Sponsorship on your race car, that got to mean a ton.
Oh yeah, I mean all the people. We had lots of family out there. I mean, Dave Key was an unbelievable job doing prepping and prepping the car and getting it all ready to rock. Key Welding, Finish Line Race Products. We're one of the few 2RL motors out there still. So Richard Motors engines built that motor, and we just everything just rock and roll for us that night.
Where do you go from here? You're not done for the year? You got to have more races planned, right?
There's a couple we can go. I just got sent a picture of the car with the front. surprisingly enough, it has a lot of work that has to be done to it after the 200, and so it's currently being worked on, and we'll see. We might be able to sneak one in. It's not a lot left over for us here. I think there's one on the 17th. We want to go back to West Shore, or the 24th if we want to do finish up the West Car season up in Penticton. So we'll see what happens. Lots of time between now and then, so see what we can do to make it all work.
And fingers crossed, the next time you and I get together, hopefully, is at the Rattler 300 2023 edition. That would be cool, brother.
Yeah, got to do a lot better job we did last year there, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, you're coming in as the Canada 200 winner, no pressure. None at all. None at all. Korbin, we got to thank you for the time. We surely genuinely appreciate it, and congratulations on the big win. You'll savor that one a long time.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
You betcha. Korbin
right,
Thomas, you betcha. Awesome job, Canada 200. That's one of the iconic ones on the West Coast, Joe. And, oh, man, I hope they can get the track, find a location, get it in, and I know you can't get a better guy than Darryl Crocker working on that. And there's a whole team of people, but Darren Crocker definitely is working on that.
It will be very interesting on the new build of a racetrack, especially in British Columbia.
Oh, yeah.
So if they find a new location, we hear about tracks going away. We hear about, Barrie Speedway going away, Mosport, and, Kawartha Downs, and, you hear rumblings all the time that this track's hurting, or this track's closing down, or whatever. When's the last time you heard of a track being built?
Yeah.
Now, I've heard of lots of tracks being updated. Jukasa, Penticton, Sunset Speedway, going back a few years.
Yeah.
And Delaware Speedway getting a touch up on the repave. Those types of things.
Right.
Which are capital investment in the property.
Name a new one.
But name a new one.
Yeah.
You don't see them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Really, I hope that the community obviously gets behind it.
Yeah.
But this could open some doors, and the racing industry is strong. There's a tremendous amount of cars. There's a tremendous amount of racers. You look at the car counts that we see at tracks where it's hurting.
Yeah.
There's a reason why it's hurting.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many divisions. There's, economic trouble in the area. There's, poor management.
Trouble. Yeah.
There is a reason why you don't have a big car count at a specific track.
Right.
And, when you look at and you hear of all the positivity out there, that track is, of course, closing down. They're looking at rebuilding. And they want to rebuild. They've got the people in place to do it. By the sounds of it, they're getting the funds raised to do it.
Yeah.
When you start talking earth-moving equipment, you're building a racetrack. Now, we've seen, when we're talking about tracks being built, Area 27, right? That's a new one.
That is.
The Motorsports Park, Rocky Mountain Motorsports Park, that's a new one.
Yes.
Road course.
Jared Whistle.
You look at the new one that's being built in Oro-Medonte in Barrie.
That's a road course.
Just outside of Barrie. It's a road course as well.
Right.
Those are relatively easy to get through, right? Because they're not spectator facilities. They're just
they're
speed
more
plants.
club oriented.
Exactly.
More club oriented.
Yep.
I agree.
And they're kind of like a country club for fast cars.
Right.
Where you start getting into the trouble is you got to be in the country. So and if you want a spectator-based model,
you got to be close to a city.
You got to be close to a city. You got to have infrastructure there. You got to have bathroom facilities that are environmentally friendly. The ground has to be zoned the right way. The highways have to be able to sustain the amount of traffic leaving on a Saturday night.
Oh yeah,
all those different things. But if they do it right, and if they play the cards right, it sets a precedence across Canada.
Oh yeah.
That look, these guys did it. How come we can't do that very thing in Barrie, Ontario, or how come we can't do that very thing in Hanover, Ontario?
Yeah.
And I think that if it's done right and it sets a precedence, then it could be a really good thing. We could see a resurgence. We could see a couple tracks built.
I know what I'd be doing if I was in BC. and I was building a racetrack, I'd be dialing 1-800, give me Trevor Siebert. From a designer standpoint, that guy designed Area 27 and, actually went out there when it was, in the Okanagan Valley. It was part of a great vineyard. He went out there with sticks and stakes and spray cans and marked it all out. There's a lot that goes into designing and building a racetrack. Whether it's a road course, whether it's an oval track, there is a lot of work that needs to go into it if you've got the right mind. You can't just say, I'm going to make an oval and I'm going to put this banking to it and that's going to be it. Because after you put it in, that's it. You put it in, that's the end of it right there. You put your wall in, put your bleachers in, and you got your setbacks and everything. If you don't do it right at the beginning, you are going to pay that price for eternity. And let's face it, when all these tracks went in 50 years ago, for the most part, they didn't have the technology. They didn't have the engineering and everything else that like a Trevor Siebert has got. He really has a ton of knowledge when it comes time for doing what he does. He moves earth for a living, but he is a racer through and through.
For sure.
So he knows that end of it.
I think that
he would be the guy.
You bring something interesting up as well. All these racetracks, were built in the 40s and 50s and 60s. And whether they were asphalt or dirt or what have you, they weren't viewing, movie theaters as competition. They weren't viewing sports stadiums as competition. It wasn't a competition at all. We race cars here, and that's what we do, and hopefully a lot of people come out, right? So we scratch a circle in the earth and throw pavement down or throw clay down, and we'll put the grandstands over there and what have you, right? The bathrooms are in a poor location. Everybody's got to walk to them. The concession stands are pigeonholed to being in the building because that's the only building that's on the property. All those different things. It would be so cool to see a racetrack purpose-built today with today's mentality, with today's, entertainment standards, all those different things. Build it to today's standards. What you would experience at the ACC or at the Scotiabank Center,
right?
Or at, just when you go to the Galaxy Cinemas, And when you look at Ashwegan Speedway, they're the closest ones to it. They got a nice bathroom, they got a nice concession stand.
They got everything.
They've got food trucks, they've got everything. When you look at the opportunity that they have at West, they've got the cat by the tail if they can get the right permits and they can get city council behind them. Hopefully everything transpires the way that we want. Fingers crossed, right?
You betcha. Well said. We are hitting the top of the hour, so we got to throw it back to Toronto, get you up to date on some news and some highlights that you may have missed over the first hour here on Sirius XM. And then it takes 90 seconds, by the way, and then we are back with you for hour number 2 tonight. Ray Morneau is coming up. Pete Vanderwyst coming up. Oh, and we will talk RS1 with Al Labert out there in RS1ville, out west. So that's still to come in hour number 2. But we'll throw it back to Toronto, get you up to date, and we will be back for hour 2. Stay with us, all live on Race Time.
You're listening to Canada Talks on Sirius XM, Channel 167.
RaceTime Radio is brought to you by the Quality Inn, Halifax Airport, the official stay of the RaceTime Radio broadcast crew. Also by APX Racewear, the motorsports leader in custom crew apparel and fire suits. Also by the Wooden Door Bistro.
Now Chase Elliott, he gets turned into the outside wall. Holy cow!
The thrill of the race.
He's way sideways.
Sliding into it, out of control.
Unbelievable how quickly things can change in racing.
You just never know how it's going to play out.
Insider access to the drivers.
We're rolling it. We're enjoying it. We'll collect as many trophies as we can.
All right, let's go finish this thing, brother.
New normal. Trying to figure it out. Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Thank you. You are the man.
We're back with hour number 2 of Race Time Radio. With the 2 Joes. Cars here on Race Time Radio on Sirius XM 167, where Canada talks.
And look at that. Just like that, we are back with you live tonight on Race Time Radio. So glad you tuned in here on Sirius XM Channel 167 Canada Talks, on RaceTimeRadio.com, or on our new Facebook, or not Facebook, I keep saying Facebook because we were on that for the first little while, but it's YouTube. RaceTimeRadioTV. It's been a long weekend, everybody, and you're getting the fruits of those labors right now. But what do you say we get back to the hotline and welcome in a guy that has won 4 features at Delaware Speedway. He's your current points leader with 1 to go. He drives the 03, his name, Ray Morneau, and he is with us on the hotline. What's going on tonight, Razor Ray? How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic, man. You had yourself another beautiful race car on Friday night. That 03 car moving.
Yeah, that was, I knew we had a decent car after practice, but that was probably one of the best cars I've had at Delaware ever. It was quite the piece. It was fun to drive.
It's been quite a season for you, Ray. Like, you guys have really, the team, that you can tell it's a whole thing moving together in unison because you guys have had a good year. It's a better way to put it than you have had a good year. That car has been good all season, other than a couple of nights where, things didn't just go right.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody here tonight, and I'm so confident in what we're bringing to the track every week here. Like you said, you're going to have them off nights, but the confidence everybody has in the team right now, it's up so high compared to where it's ever been, and it shows. I mean, I don't like tooting our horn, but we've had a very good year. We've had a really successful year, and just hope to close it out here coming this Friday.
Yeah, and you're allowed to toot it, bud. You have earned the right to toot a horn. And there's no other two ways to look at it. The 03 car has worked really, really well. You are the guy behind the wheel. You're the guy making the decisions when the green flag is out, and you've been making the right ones. And it's real easy to make the wrong choice when you're faced with, a lap car. You're trying to pass somebody. Do you move them? If you do, what are they going to race you like? All those different decisions. And from what I can see, Ray, and I've watched damn near every lap at Delaware this year, you haven't made no enemies. You race everybody, and they seem to be racing you the same way you race them.
Yeah, that's the big thing is we haven't had any problems with anybody, and you don't go out there looking for that either, right? I mean, you're going to race people the way you want to be raced, right? So always try and, you're going to lean on them. If that's all part of racing, you're going to get the donuts on the doors and that. But, it's been really good this year. I think part of it is with the outside being promoted with the new asphalt. That's just helped the racing and helped the guys just moving somebody. It gives you that option like last Friday there. We're all bottlenecked on the bottom on the initial start, and I just jumped to the top, and you can start making hay when guys are bottlenecked up on the bottom, and it just gives you that option, and it creates cleaner racing, I think.
The old Delaware dive bomb is gone, and it's something that I spent a lot of time at the old Delaware Speedway before even 3 and 4 was fixed up, right? And before 3 and 4 was fixed up, they of course not paved, but poured concrete down, and they actually polished it. It was really smooth when it was first laid down. But before then, really how you made a pass at Delaware Speedway is you needed to get drive off the corner before, and hope that you're at the bumper, and then throw it down inside.
Junior, that was hit to pass before hit to pass became a hit to pass race.
Yeah,
that's what it used to be.
I'm just saying that there, and
that's the way it used to be. I agree.
Not even hit the guy. It was always a dive bomb. Like you always had to kind of man up and throw it in there and hope it sticks. And it was always a squirrely situation. And they fixed turn 3, and it opened it up a little bit. It gave an opportunity to set the car up a little bit different. Both ends were completely different, so you had to kind of, you had to compromise one end to the other.
Yeah.
Now the racing product that I'm seeing at Delaware Speedway, it is putting on some of the best racing, super stocks, bone stocks, late models, everything that I've seen race there. I've seen the modifieds race there this year, the hot rods race there this year. They put on a show there, and like you said, Ray, the bottom stacks up because it's a short track race. The bottom eventually becomes the preferred lane, right, in the corner, and you want to get high down the straightaway. But on a restart, when you've got guys dive into the bottom, it stacks the inside lineup, and you watch a guy like Steckley or you or Connor Perdigo jump to the high side. I know I spotted for Robley this past weekend. Robley did it. We picked up like 3.5 spots, right, and raced the guy side by side, and then had to give that spot up. That's why I said 3.5.
Tell me, Ray, wasn't there one restart where you chose the outside?
Yeah, and that's been the leader gets choice at Delaware, and that's been a lot of guys' choices to go to the top. Obviously, it's circumstantial to who's on the bottom kind of thing, but as for most times, I mean, you're going to choose the top. The top is just, you can roll it so much better. Like Joe was saying, it stacks up on the bottom so quick with guys diving down there. At the top, you can just roll. So it gives you another option, and like I said, it's typically always our option to go to the top if we're starting on the pole.
Absolutely.
Well, you do a great job in that 03. Talking about the two different ends at Delaware Speedway, 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you set to? Do you set to 1 and 2, or is 3, 4? If you nail 1, 2, is 3, 4 still kind enough to you?
Yeah, you're never really good in both ends. It's more of just a balance of you're okay in one end and good in the other end. It all just depends how the night goes. I mean, if you're good through practice and you can roll through 1 and 2, you can fudge it through 3 and 4 kind of thing. 3 and 4 is just an animal in itself. There's so many ways you can attack the corner. Like Joe was saying, with the new pavement or the new cement they put years ago on the bottom and added that lane, it gives you an option to enter in down there and kind of diamond it. There's a lot of ways you can attack turn 3, and typically we're trying to set up for 1 and 2, roll through 1 and 2 well, and then down in 3 and 4, it's just get up on the wheel and get after it.
Absolutely. Now, to make time, there's only one way to get through. If you're by yourself and it's time trials, there's only the one way, right? Or would you disagree with that? The nice part about 3 and 4 is with traffic is you have probably 10 different options on how you can run the corner. But when you're by yourself, really, it's you got to just focus on that drive off. But that's the neat part about it is I want to see options when there's traffic, not options when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
I look at some racetracks and man, when you're by yourself, there's a million different options and you can make time with all of them. But as soon as you have a car on your outside, you're done. You know. But when you look at Delaware Speedway 3 and 4, it is a corner all in itself, and it is so fun to watch. Ray, looking at your team and your progression, obviously you're happy with where you're at this year. You're happy with the performance, all those things. What's it like to be a team like yours for so long, to support Delaware Speedway, to roll in through the back gate, be a solid competitor, but now be the target competitor, to be the rabbit out front, to have that target on your back? What's it like, that transition? Is it fun? Is it stressful? What is it to you?
I'm trying to have a lot of fun with it. I'm trying not to worry about it and get stressed out, but it is hard to. I mean, like you said, we've run Delaware a long time with my uncles running there, and they had a lot of success. So trying to live up to their name and just trying to be successful at Delaware it's tough. They have the best field, to me, the best field in Ontario, if not, I'm going to say Canada, weekly show-wise. And Delaware, it's such a historic place. It's a tough place to get around. So when you can get a win, and then the position we're in with the points, and you can be leading, it's a special place to be.
Yeah, celebrating 70 years. That's off. That's off the charts. I don't know of another track anywhere celebrating 70 years. But Delaware did it just, last week? It was the big 70-year celebration, and just amazing, to say the least. The guys on Rogers, too. We got to put a shout-out to Chris Soares and that whole Rogers crew. That's who I've been tuned into all year, and those guys do a damn good job. I've seen your aunt. I want to say I don't know whether it's your girlfriend or wife. Hopefully it's one and the same. But they had some of your crew down there on the start-finish line, and everybody was soaking in that win on Friday night. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. That was my mom, my sister, and my aunt down there. It was it's pretty cool to have the whole family down there. We got a lot of people that support us. It means a lot. Just having them down there, and then when you can get into victory lane and have them all down there and see how excited they are, it makes the night that much sweeter.
Well, you hit those sponsors because, Bud, I know how much they mean to you, and they deserve it. You go ahead and start rattling. We got time.
Well, thank you. We got a lot of people that get us to the track. First off, the John Arch Group. They jumped on with us last year, about the second or third race in, and they've been unreal. We got JR Excavating, Dutch Brothers, East Elgin Concrete Forming, Iron Mike Industries, Reed Farms, Tormont Cat, Hallmark Memorial, St. Denis Machine, Revard Snowplowing, Highland Tools, Double R Reworks, Sun Parlor Trailers, and I think that's everybody.
Dana's Desserts. There you go.
Desserts. Yeah, exactly.
If you didn't say that, you would have got swatted.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, no desserts for me.
Which, by the way, I've never tried a Dana's dessert.
Now, can I just point something out? Out of all your sponsors, which one did Junior pick up on?
The desserts.
The dessert.
Well, once you try them, you're hooked. I can tell you that.
Oh, that's awesome. Ray, points come to an end, come to a head next Friday night. I bet you that this can't end early enough for you. What is your points lead? And mathematically, what do you got to do that everybody else doesn't have to?
Right now, we're in a pretty comfortable spot. We're 23 up right now on the 19 and 30 up on Steckley. I was talking to my dad before we were racing down there on Friday, and I was going to be comfortable leaving Delaware with 15 to 16 points. That's still a comfortable spot, but right now we're really comfortable. I'll be able to sleep this week at least. We're after the heat races, we'll see how that goes. If we have a good heat race, we're just as long as we don't get in trouble, I think we got a really good shot. But we're gonna prepare everything the same. You're going out there to win. You're gonna contend for a win and do everything you can do. But you still got to keep it in the back of your mind when you're racing somebody. You got to give them that extra inch so that nothing happens and you can seal the deal up.
Oh yeah. What comes after Delaware? I know Delaware's front of mind and goal number one. What comes after Delaware? Are you looking maybe Autumn Colors Classic at Peterborough Speedway, or the Flamborough Speedway's got Oktoberfest coming up. Do you got anything else planned that you're going to go do after you hopefully get the championship on Friday night?
We're going to just run the APC race at Delaware at the end of the season. We're kind of gonna end it there, and then just regroup and get ready for next year. We're looking at our options for next year, and we're going to hopefully end the season with a good run at APC, and then try and build on that for next year.
Now, we do ask the hard-hitting questions here. We did see a post on Facebook. You did have an opportunity to run a Pinty's race at Delaware. Has anything happened on that end? Is that opportunity still alive? Where are you at?
I got a call today. Everything sounds like it's a go. We're supposed to talk to the team owner tomorrow, and as far as I know, everything's good to go. He just wants to make sure that they can get the car prepared to their best ability and make sure they can get everything ready to go. So he's going to give me a call tomorrow morning, and hopefully everything works out. But as long as I get that call and he gives me the okay that the car is going to be ready, we are going to make our first NASCAR Pinty start at Delaware. I'm really looking forward to it. We've been talking about it through the year with my sponsors, and I thought it was going to be a great opportunity. And hopefully everything comes together, and we get the call tomorrow morning, and we'll be down there.
I'll tell you what, Ray Morneau, we will be in touch with you. I can guarantee it. Next Sunday night on Racetime Radio, we'll fill in any blank if there is one, and we'll celebrate the championship and hopefully another victory, and you name it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Ray Morneau in the 03. He's got an opportunity, Junior, to seal the deal come Friday night.
And they owe me some Dana's dessert. I'm just throwing it out there. I haven't tried them. I've seen them on Facebook 1,000 times.
Bring one home for the old guy.
Yeah. I don't know how we put an order in.
Yeah.
I'll message Ray. I'll place an order for some Dana's desserts, and then we'll bring some. We'll have some here on Sunday. I'm gonna be at Velocity.
Yeah, you'll be at Velocity. That's okay.
I get all the desserts myself.
Well, you never know. I could make it down to the final Pinty's race, and if Ray's in it, that'd be cool.
You will be.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. Opportunity of a lifetime.
Maybe we do Racetime Radio that Sunday night live from Delaware Speedway. Ooh, there's some potential there, maybe.
It's a day race.
Oh, okay. There goes the potential. Right out the window. Okay, we're going to hit this break. We got lots more to come. We got Pete Vanderwyst, also a point leader in the Super Stock division at Delaware Speedway. Got a win on Friday night. And we've got El Labor coming up. We're going to talk RS1. It's the season finale. Coming up at Area 27, we'll get you. All those blanks will be filled in tonight, live on Racetime Radio. Stay with us.
She was a girl in a short dress. I was a boy in a charcoal vest. When the winter wind came calling, that engine like a stalling. I was the one who kept waiting.
From coast to coast, you're listening to Canada Talks.
No one else. Only you. Mr. Never Say Die. Your 8-year-old car running like new? That's all you. And your friend, Mr. Transmission. Transmissions, that's their specialty. Over 350 different types, making Mr. Transmission Canada's undisputed transmission and technology expert. Book your free multi-check inspection at your local Mr. Transmission to keep it running smoothly. How long will your car last? As long as you want it to. Thanks to your friend.
Hey, mister, you're a friend of mine.
Even though Napa is a nationally known name, nearly all of our stores are built from the ground up by local owners and families. People you might call neighbors will be here, there, and everywhere. Doing what neighbors do to keep their communities moving forward. To stop by a Napa Auto Parts store, you can count on Napa know-how.
Tonight's Racetime Radio is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts Stores, New Glasgow, Antigonish, and Port Hawkesbury, Nova Scotia. You can count on Napa know-how.
AP Race Fuels, the worldwide leader in race fuel technology. Epic Racewear. Look, feel, be epic at epicracewear.ca.
Now, a flashback in Canadian music history. Here's Eric Alper.
Rush holds a special place in our hearts and in the record books. They've sold more than 40 million copies around the world. They have a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and officers of the Order of Canada. And they've released 24 gold records and 14 platinum albums, placing them 5th for the most consecutive gold or platinum studio albums by any rock band.
From the high banks of Daytona, we cover it all. Ooh, that's going to leave a mark. And now, back to the Joes.
Hey, say goodbye, Cal. Woo! Say goodbye.
And here on Racetime Radio.
And just like that, we are back with you all live tonight on Racetime Radio, Sirius XM Channel 167, Canada Talks, on RaceTimeRadio.com, and as well on our brand new YouTube page, on our YouTube channel. It's Racetime Radio TV, live on YouTube. But I digress. Let's get back to the hotline, shall we? This next guest drives the number 7 Super Stock. You know this name. This guy's been in the sport a while. Let's put it that way. He is a past NASCAR champion. This guy has been there, done that, and he's still getting it done. He won again on Friday night. He is a points leader right now in the Super Stock class at Delaware Speedway. I believe his points lead is 5. But Pete Vanderwyst, he's going to tell us whether it's 5 or more. What's going on tonight, Petey? How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. And it's actually 10 points.
So you stretched it out by 5 more.
I got a little bit of breathing room on Jay. He's been running really good the last 5 or 6 weeks, and we had a couple bad weeks, and we had a motor go on us last week, and kind of set us back, but we were able to bounce back. We changed motors. We had a transmission go on us in practice on Friday night, but the boys thrashed. We got her back together, and we got a 10-point lead going into Friday night for the championship race.
You gotta love it, Pete. I've been watching all season long on Rogers or on G-Force when G-Force was doing it, and watching you race that number 7 car and watching Jay Dewar in the 43, and man, what's some epic battles that you guys have been doing on the racetrack. Man, you got the 7 car working real good. On the bottom of the speedway, you can slide up a little bit later on in the race. It looks like you got the gambit covered, man, but that's what happens when you've got lots of laps on it. You got lots of experience, and definitely, Pete, you do got all of those, all the above. Do you find Super Stock and now being back into the sport less stressful than what it used to be back in the day when you were running the NASCAR championship and winning championships? Is it less stressful than those days, or what do you think?
It's a lot less stressful. I mean, when we had Loctite, I was a lot younger. I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and we had, the big sponsor and trying to do, really well every weekend, and it was a lot of work going into it. I mean, you were racing guys like Gibbons and Donnie Thompson and DJ and, Dilster and Terry Mix, and there was just a ton of guys that could win on any given night. And, we'd be showing up at racetracks back in the day, and there'd be, 40, 50 cars showing up, and they're only taking, 35 guys, and you got to be able to qualify to be able to get in the show where you were going home. So it was a lot less stressful, and it's been a lot more fun, a different kind of fun, because my kids back in the day were obviously a lot younger and never got to travel with us when we were on the road and that. Now they go to the racetrack with us. I got my son racing in the bone stock class at Delaware, and we're just having a lot of fun doing it this year.
Hey, was it 1995 you won the championship? I say that. My wife Sue and I went to a NASCAR banquet, and we only ever went to one. And my friend, you were the champion that year that we were at that banquet in London. Was that 1995?
So that was 95, and we actually won. We were the Rookie of the Year, and then Canada's up-and-coming Racer of the Year that year.
Was it, you went home with the truck that year, did you not?
No, I didn't go home. That might have been Gibbons or somebody, or Mix here maybe, or somebody like that. But I do remember somebody went home with a truck. Yeah.
It was amazing. I know that particular night, I spoke with Pete Pete, and I said to him, he was running Daytona just before that, and he blew a tire going into the tri-oval, and I got a chance to talk to Pete, and I said, so what did you think of Daytona? And usually, like you've been running up here, what's it like running Daytona? He said, it's the same, just you can't stop as quick.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because back in we raced up until 2004 in the NASCAR series, and then we took a year off, and then actually 2003 was my last year doing that, and then in 2005 Mike McCall brought me back to drive one of the house cars when the crate motors came out. We got back in with the crate motor, and then we won the championship at Delaware that year. I think we won I think it was called the Lucas Oil something for all of Ontario. We won that. I think we finished, they had the NASCAR weekly deal, and we finished second in our whole division through New York and Michigan and Ohio on that. And then, talking about Pete and running Daytona, the speed's all relative. I can remember going to Milwaukee Mile, Nashville, I've been to Texas, Bristol, IRP, all the big tracks, the iconic tracks. The only race that I've never done is actually the Snowball Derby. It's probably the only big track that I've never raced at.
Ooh. Could there be a day, Pete? Could there?
didn't know there was going to be a day that I was going to come back last year after being out of it for 12 years.
And you're doing a dynamite job. You have not skipped a beat, my friend. You look amazing on the racetrack still.
Thank you. And, that was kind of, we struggled at the beginning of the year with the car last year, and it was very similar to what our old cast cars were with, with the sub Camaro front clip and that, but they had the leaf springs in the back, and I never ran a leaf spring car. So it was quite a bit different, and over the conversations with Mike and Barry McCalls, we kept talking about this and talking about that, and what the feel that I was, that I thought that I remembered I used to have, and I wasn't having that same feel in the car. We struggled for about 7 races, and then we kind of got the car figured out at Sunset, and we came back to Delaware, finished second at Delaware, and then finished second in the quick race at Delaware. We knew we had the car pretty much dialed in. But at that point, then they had the opportunity to. We were going to build a new one. They didn't want to build a Camaro clip again.
Right.
Go with the metric chassis. So it's kind of a research and development car that we built this year, and we've been working and thrashing on it, trying to get it set up, and we've got a pretty good setup underneath it now.
Well, I would say, and you got a damn good driver behind the wheel and a real stout crew in that pit area to keep you on that speedway. Unlike Ray Morneau that we just talked to, Ray's got like a 23-point lead, I believe he said. You with only 10 points. Pete, have you done the math on it? Have you even thought of looking at the math to find out what you got to do, what Jay can't do for you to be the champion, or do you just attack every race the same way you've always done and go out there to win?
That's I've never been a points racer, and that's probably my biggest fault. From a racing standpoint, I've always been kind of that horse that you got to pull the reins back on instead of kicking in the ass to get it going. The green flag drops and I'm going. So I mean, I just gotta try and be a little bit more patient, maybe a little bit on Friday night. But at the end of the day, when the checker flag falls, we'll know whether Jay wins it or whether I win it. At the end of the day, whether Jay wins it, fantastic for him. They had a fantastic year, and same with us.
It has been a fantastic year, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. And with both of you, and you mix in guys like Colliver, and you mix in guys like Dyson, and the list goes on and on down there. There's a ton of competition.
You got Carson in there.
Absolutely. Carson, Nagy.
Yeah. I mean, there's just a ton of guys at Delaware. I honestly believe it's the best track in Ontario, and I think that the new ownership group has done a phenomenal job there with Luke and Johnny Arts and Russ and Darryl and the guys that do all the race time stuff and the technical stuff. They do a phenomenal job, and I'm glad to be a part of it, and looking forward to finishing off on a good note for the end of the year here, both for the quick and the Delaware.
Absolutely. We got to hit rewind a little bit back to Friday night. Did your ears ring at all yesterday or today? Because we've talked about you a lot. I was spotting for Rick Verburn, and coming down with like 3 to go. He was reeling you in a little bit, and I said to him, I said, you drive up there and give that old guy a shot, and he did. He in the center of the corner, and he laughed, because it was in the dead center. You would never go around, but he did it just for me. So that was from me, just so you know.
That's awesome. You know what? Rick's a great guy. I mean, I met Rick probably about a year ago, just through DJ, and I obviously didn't know because I haven't been really in the racing scene, but. I know that Rick was very respectful there, and he's a fantastic racer, and he could drive the wheels off of the car, and I knew that he wasn't going to do anything dirty. I mean, obviously, he's just a smart guy and a very respectful racer. But I was just getting so loose, and I was having to back the corner up to be able just to drive off and try and protect the bottom, so he couldn't get up underneath. But thankfully, I had that lap car there. I could use it as a little bit of a pick and hold it back there, and I was able to pull it off last night.
It was awesome. It was a great race. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Ricky was fast. I mean, I'm looking forward to Ricky coming back next week, or this week, I guess, and go back at it, and hopefully we can get things a little bit figured out with our entry, and so that we can really get through the corners real good.
23 to go. You passed the 88 car. You reeled him in a half a track. I went, oh my God. When Pete catches the 88, he's not even going to see the taillights on that car by the end of this race. And I was astonished that the 88 car, soon as you got in front of him, well, that was it. Old Ricky, he was all over you, like right to the rear deck lid. And I'm going, wow, what a race that we got here. And the whole time I'm going, Carson Nagy is there. Here comes the 43 Endure. That STP looking machine is going to work its way up here. Just amazing. And that's the way those super stock races have been this year. You have won. You take a look at Jay has won. Carson, I think, has won a race. Just amazing. You guys do a great job in them. How will you guys line up on Friday night? Is that determined yet? Like, is it all done by qualifying? Or will they, in fact, line you up by points?
You know what? I don't think anybody's been able to figure out how they do the lineup at Delaware for any of that stuff. That was the first time. So on the heat race, we started. I think we started fifth in the heat race. We won the heat race in that one, and then we started fifth in the feature. So you know, it depends. Not sure if Joe, if you know that car that Jay's driving, that's the car that I had last year.
Yep.
So he's got it pretty dialed in, and I know that even Rick was saying that he hadn't had a whole lot of laps on that track yet with the new pavement. And when I got to him, when I got by him, he was telling me after the race that he just started following where my line was and where he was going in, and I think that really helped him as well to try and kind of figure the track out a little bit better for himself. So that's good. I mean, at the end of the day, the track with the new pavement and everything, it's a lot faster. There's you can obviously see that there's probably a good group and a half there that you can get up on the wheel and get going at it. I think that Friday night, with Rick in there and Jay in there, and you got Culver, Dyson, you got Ferrer, you got Snags, it's just a bunch of cars that can win on any given night there.
It was pretty funny because I was watching our monitor, which you're not allowed to do in the Pinty series. That's for Jeff Gutler. That's why I said that. But I was watching our monitor, and you were like half a straightaway back because he scored it out to a pretty good little lead. And I was like, all right, bud, the seven's back there. He's a half a second faster. And I was like, all right, 0.6 of a second faster. 0.7 of a second faster, Rick. Like, we got to go. And you're just reeling us in like we're stopped. And as soon as you got by him, you were turning like 2s consistently, and we were turning like 7s and 8s. And as soon as you got by him, the next lap, he turned a 2. I said, there you go. You just needed a rabbit.
Because somebody was talking to me afterwards, too, and I'm the same way. It's a whole lot more fun chasing somebody, and because you got to go, right? But when you get out in the lead, it's not as fun, actually.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to win a race, but at the same time, I like, I started back a couple times, and I like carving through and just making my way through and just finding spots and making holes and just driving the wheels off of it.
Absolutely.
Well, Pete, you're staring at a championship come Friday night. If everything goes right and you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to do it. Give those sponsors a hit on that 7 machine because I know they mean a ton to you, bud.
They absolutely do. So, I got CIPG, I've got Yarmouth Group, I got VP Transportation, I got Tullaville Windows, I've got Excite Bio, I've got Pro Waste Solution, SRS Detailing, and just every single one of them just make a great contribution. And they've been coming to the racetracks and watching and having a lot of fun. And there'll be a lot of the sponsors are coming on Friday night. I've been wheeling and dealing on tickets and stuff like that with Luke and John Hurt and them right now to get a bunch of them out there, and hopefully we'll have a big fan group out there and we'll be able to have a great celebration on Friday night.
Well,
beers are on, Pete.
Yeah, yeah. Pete, you do a dynamite job. We can't thank you enough for the time tonight, and we look forward to leaning on the champion next Sunday night. Hopefully that's you, brother.
Sounds good. I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate everything you guys do for the sport.
You betcha. That's Pete Vanderwyst. Watch him in the 7 Super Stock at Delaware Speedway. Go be a barn burner. Trust me, that 43 car. Jay Dewar, he has had a lights-out great year. And the names, they all rolled out of Pete here just moments ago. Nagy's right up there. He's also really good. Ferrer, he's another one. Like, there's a lot of good cars in the field. The one,
Trevor Culver,
yeah.
Dyson, and in the 28.
Man, so many good cars.
The list goes on and on down there, and they do have a very stout lineup. I'm going to say this right now. This is going to be a bold prediction, but it was this way last year as well, and there's going to be a bunch of great racing championship weekend at Delaware Speedway.
Oh yeah,
best race of the weekend by far, I think, is going to be the Super Stock. The Super Stock Quick 50.
Yeah,
it's just the way that whole deal is shaping up. The level of competition. You look at Jason Parker. You look at Pete Vanderwyst. You look at 43. You look at the 93. You look at the 1, the 28, the 36. I haven't even mentioned Group's car with Zardo in it.
Zardo. Yep.
Tamirsma won the championship over at Sunset.
17. Yeah.
You know, you look at McAllister. He's kicked it on. Just the level of competition in that quick deal is about to come to a head at Delaware, and I don't think it's going to be one of those green to checkered type of super stock races that we've seen.
No. Everybody wants to win it,
and you know, you mix in a guy like Chenoweth, who has been kind of doing some R&D week in and week out at Delaware. Man, I think that it's going to be a spectacular race. And not to say that all the other races aren't going to be great as well. I think that the APC race is obviously going to be wild, the modified race as well, and same with the Penny's race. But man, I honestly think that Quick 50 is probably going to be one of the best races of the year.
It will be. I can guarantee it. You don't want to miss it. If you can get to the track next Friday night, get to it. But then again, you got the weekend after championship weekend for Pinty's, for APC. Just dynamite job, Luke, and all the guys have done at Delaware Speedway. Everybody should be extremely proud of what you guys have pulled off. And dynamite racing, and the same thing with Rogers. Awesome, I'll tell you, for a guy like me that has got his eye on Oswego, on Delaware, on races out east, out west. I've got to be kind of centrally located so I can do the reporting on the stuff that we do, and I can't tell you how much it means to me to be able to tune into all these different aspects and watch the racing and be able to do a half-decent job, I would think, in getting the guys lined up and getting them on the show and getting you the top quality and what the country's got to offer. And that's precisely what we've heard from tonight. We got one more guest coming up on the other side of this break, and it is the GM of Avion Motorsports. They got the RS1 Cup Series finale coming up at Area 27, and we're going to check in with Al Labert on the other side of this break. So stay right there. We'll be back in just a couple shakes.
Poor pitiful me, roaming through them trees. Won't you help me out in the North Country, underneath them pines, in the green plush scenery?
From coast to coast, you're listening to Canada Talks.
Racetime Radio is brought to you by the Quality Inn, Halifax Airport, the official stay of the Racetime Radio broadcast crew, also by the Wooden Door Bistro.
Even though Napa is a nationally known name, nearly all of our stores are built from the ground up by local owners and families. People you might call neighbors will be here, there, and everywhere, doing what neighbors do to keep their communities moving forward. Stop by a Napa Auto Parts store. You can count on Napa know-how.
No one else. Only you. Mr. Never Say Die. Your 8-year-old car running like new? That's all you. And your friend, Mr. Transmission. Transmissions, that's their specialty. Over 350 different types, making Mr. Transmission Canada's undisputed transmission and technology expert. Book your free multi-check inspection at your local Mr. Transmission to keep it running smoothly. How long will your car last? As long as you want it to. Thanks to your friend.
Hey, mister, you're a friend of mine.
Tonight's Racetime Radio is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts Stores, Port Hawkesbury, New Glasgow, and Antigonish, Nova Scotia.
Driver, start your engine.
Welcome back to the track. Live on Racetime Radio, Sirius XM 167.
And just like that, we are back with you all live tonight on Racetime Radio. So glad you could tune in tonight. Let's get off to Canada's West Coast, shall we? With a guy that is the general manager at Avion Motorsports. His name is Al Labert. He is with us on the hotline. What's going on tonight there, El Macombo? How are you?
Hey, Joe. How are you? I'm all good. I'm here in the beautiful Okanagan and enjoying the weather out here and getting the RS1 cars ready for our championship race next weekend.
Now, don't be rubbing it in now, brother. Don't be rubbing it in. Oh, man. How is everything coming together? You got all those RS1 cars all fixed up from Penticton. Not a lot of damage to do this time around, was there?
No, not at all. Actually, it was, truly amazing. We had 18 cars start the race, and after twin hundreds and 200 laps, we had 18 cars finish. So it was a good, clean racing, and we only had, some, a little bit of vinyl work. Penticton Speedway puts on some great side-by-side racing, so we had to do some vinyl stuff and change a couple fiberglass noses. But other than that, we've actually had it pretty easy here since the last race.
For fans and listeners that are tuned in tonight, maybe it's your first time or maybe you haven't been around very long, the RS1 Cup Series out on Canada's west coast runs at Penticton Speedway on the oval. They did go to Saskatoon and run on that oval, and they started the season and will end it at Area 27 on a beautiful world-class road course. The RS1 Cup Series is a design-build car. They are a beautiful-looking race car, and they are all fed, watered, and housed by Avion Motorsports. The driver literally, in every car, arrives and drives. They bring their helmet. That is their car that they're getting into, but it's a car either that they own or they rent it, but they can't touch the car. Everything is done by Al and his whole staff to prepare the car, transport the car, absolutely everything. The driver cannot do anything more than a wing adjustment. They can do tire pressures, and what's the third thing? Oh, they can adjust the panhard bar, right, Al?
Correct. Those are only three adjustments, the drivers are allowed to make, and, in-house, every car is set up exactly the same. The only difference here from the oval to the road course is we changed the left front camber and, some tire stagger. But other than that, it's all on the driver. And it puts on some great racing because it's not on the car and it's not racing with your wallet. It's all about your actual strategy and driver talents.
Now, I got to ask you this, and I thought of it one other time when you and I were talking, and it slipped my mind, but it did come to the foreground right now, and I'm going to ask it. The weight of the cars. I know the cars would all weigh the same, or at least I think they would, but the drivers don't all weigh the same. How do you compensate for the weight of a driver? If I take a look at, Trevor Siebert, for instance, he'd be a little heavier, I would think, than Riley Siebert that drives the 09 car. Or, we take a look at Jesse Webb in the 94 car. He's kind of a smallish kind of guy versus, say, someone that is, I don't know, the 33 will go with Jason White. He's not a heavy guy, but he's probably outweighing the 94 car. How do you equalize it there? Do you weigh the cars in with the driver or without him?
So there's actually no weight in the cars whatsoever. So the cars weigh, they're all within about 5 to 7 pounds difference from just the thickness of fiberglass and stuff. So they all weigh right around 2,500 pounds without the driver. So we actually don't do anything to compensate the driver weight. Unfortunately, if you're a little bit of a heavier driver, you have a disadvantage compared to, a smaller driver. However, there's also limited advantage, especially on the ovals and even at Area 27, it's all high sweeping left-hand turns. You add some left side weight, which we all know helps the current car turn left.
Right. Now, they're set up neutral then, right? The cars, when you're on an oval track, Al, do you set it up with, percentage-wise? I guess you can't because there's no added weight to it. So I'm answering my own question as I think.
Well, believe it or not, you're kind of right, but there's no weight, but it's the way the cars are built. They're built very balanced. But we have a little bit of a oval setup in the cars, we'll call it, but we actually run that a little bit at Area 27. All the corners there are, fast sweeping left-handers, and there's some decent banking. So there's really only 3 tight right-handers. You're slowing down so much that the oval setup, we'll call it, doesn't exactly slow the cars down. So we discovered this, Riley and I playing with the cars 3-4 years ago that actually really made the cars handle better. So we're kind of going with a little bit of an oval setup to the road course, even though the cars are a purposely built road course car.
That's really interesting. Al, one of the questions, we were standing up in the spotter stand, and there was an intermission, and there was a couple guys talking about the RS1 series, and one of the things that pops out to me is if they're all the same, what happens and how do you figure it out if a spring starts changing? Like if a spring starts to give away, or if a shock starts to give away. Over time, these springs, they compress up and down so many times, and then eventually they start to lose rate. And that can help you or hurt you, one way or the other. Do you run into that much, or is it something that just kind of you fix as you come across it, or what's the maintenance routine like with that end of it?
Well, that's actually a really good question, and that came into play last couple of years. So what we started doing is a full car refurbishment program. So like our original cars that are built 4 or 5 years ago, we send them back over the winter, and we totally strip those down and do a full rebuild. We change all the brake lines and nuts and bolts and all that stuff. At the same time, we sent out all the springs and the shocks, and we got them rated. And believe it or not, we didn't have any go bad. We had one that dropped a little bit, but not enough, that would even make a difference. So we routinely checked on them, and we really never ran into that. Obviously, if a spring or shock went bad, the driver would come to us and say, hey, there's something not feeling quite right with the car, and then we would, throw a shock and spring on the dyno and check it out. But, the package we use, we've never really had any issues whatsoever with them.
That's good.
That is cool. Area 27 has got some incredibly long straightaways. Tell us the makeup of that road course. How many turn courses is it? And, Al, what kind of speeds will these drivers be hitting on Area 27 in an RS1 Cup car?
Yeah, Area 27 is a very cool, racetrack. The combination of, Bill DeRosso did a great job putting that together with the design, of Trevor and Jacques Villeneuve, and Trevor did a great job at building it. It's a 16-turn road course. There's quite a bit of elevation change. You start by going in turn 1, which, I feel it's very similar to a quarter-mile oval track. You do this high banking left-hand turn, and that brings you this high speed right on the straightaway. And the straightaway is quite long. The RS1 cars reach, the fast guys like Sean and Riley and Trevor and, Noel, they're chasing their low 160 mile an hour at the end of that straightaway. Then you go right into turn 2, which is a left-hander. It's pretty high speed, and then things really start to slow down into the hard right-hand turn 3, and then 4, 5, 6 is pretty slow. Then coming up 7 is like a roller coaster. You go up quite a bit elevation, and there's 7A and 7B, and then when you do the hard left-hander, it actually like falls out underneath you, and you come down a hill, gain a whole bunch of speed coming into turn 8, and then that's a really slow right-hander up a really steep hill, a quick left. Then you work your way back around to the hairpin in turn 12, which you really got to woe it up in that hairpin. And then you do another quick straightaway, and turns 13 all the way through 14 is very strategic. Some guy like Sean has that absolutely mastered. That's where he picks up a lot of time. There's a little straightaway between 13 and 14, and some guys realize that's there and some doesn't. You can pick up some time there and then come through 15 and 16 and do it again. So there's 3 pretty high speed straightaways, and it's a fun track to race at.
Well, I'll tell you, Jerry Paxton and I got the opportunity to sit down with Trevor Seibert after he won the last RS1 Cup race. We got together at the hotel after the race. Of course, the Saturday race, we only got 100 in, and then we got rain. So we went back Sunday morning, and we got the other 100-lap race in, no problem, nice sunny day. And it gave us time in the afternoon to get together, and we precisely talked about Area 27 and the construction of it. I asked him how much input did Jacques have in the track, and he said, quite a bit of input. He said it's kind of cool because Jacques and Trevor wanted to come up with an area that the guys couldn't check the rear view mirror to make sure that, the competitor that was behind them was, too close or whatever, was about to steal the spot. They wanted to have an area where the driver had to look out the windshield, and Trevor got giddy when he started talking about that one area that you come over the rise, and you got to have the balls to take that car because it feels like you're going to take off. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, it is utterly, the track falls out underneath you, and you really got to, be able to get on that car and trust the car, and it feels really light. It's an interesting corner, and they did a great job at designing and building that. And there's also a bunch of banking there. If anyone listening, has never done some laps at Area 27, if you ever have an opportunity, whether it's street car or passing an RS1 car, highly recommend everyone needs to experience doing a lap around there.
So this is it, the final weekend coming up of RS1 Cup Series competition for 2022. Is there any availability, if there's someone listening in that says, hey, I want to go do that, is there opportunity for them this coming weekend?
Absolutely. So we presently have one seat available right now for Cup, and I got two for our Challenge Series. I got two guys I'm talking to right now about getting in that Cup car, but nothing is officially done yet. So, anyone out there wants to get in that Cup car and come and race against, 24 of some of the best drivers in North America, if they get a hold of us pretty quick, we can definitely make that happen.
Okay, so that is this weekend. Let's forget about this weekend, and I also want to add in, these are Super Seal Championship points coming up this coming weekend, and by no stretch, these guys want these Super Seal Championship points, right? They got a big carrot at the end of this one.
Oh, yeah, this weekend, it's going to be very interesting here. Our Super Seal purse, I don't know if any listeners who doesn't know, they really stepped up, and they put a $100,000 purse out this year to help our drivers, but our champion gets a $10,000 bonus. So right now, you got Riley Seabird in the lead for Cup, and but Sean's only 7 points back, and Area 27 kind of becomes Sean's little personal playground. He's really good around that place, and 7 points is not hard to make up. And Noel Daller picked up a couple wins on the oval this year, and he's only 17 points back. So Noel definitely has a shot if Riley and Sean tangle up in turn one, lap one. But the other cool thing that's added a strategy this year is our throwaway races. So we have 10 points paying races, 2 per event, which we have 2 coming up Saturday, but we only count the best 8 for the championship. So right now Riley has a 3rd place in a throwaway. So if Riley finishes 18th on one of the races Saturday, he could throw that away and become a 3rd, and Sean has a 6th. So there's a lot of strategy there on how you want to conserve tires and use your throwaways, and the best scenario to win that championship. And I've talked to Noel here a few times, and he hasn't given up. He's pretty coming with his game to try to win a couple races and show Riley and Sean that Noel Daller's coming to win that championship as well.
If you're rolling through British Columbia this coming weekend, is there an area where you can pull up to Area 27? I know there is no grandstands at the facility, but if there is fans touring through and they want to check it out, can they do that?
Absolutely. So, there's no fans on the actual facility this weekend. It's part of their club racing. However, right on turn one, there's a public viewing area, and it's actually free for anybody that wants to come in and watch the racing. They can park right up there in turn one, and see 24 cars come rolling in there at the initial green flag.
Oh, it'll be off the chart. And I want to let everybody know, you won't miss it. You're going to be able to catch it all on Rev TV Canada. The race will be on there. And Cole Sorensen and I will be calling it. So we're looking forward to that. But, Al, this has been great catching up with you. We are going to spend some good quality time in the off-season, and we'll fill everybody in on how they can get involved with RS1 for 2023. And I would imagine there's going to be a lot of different people coast to coast that are going to want to check it out.
Oh, absolutely. We're coming to the end of 2022 here, but, Trevor and I actually had some breakfast this morning. We're working on our plans for 2023, and we have a lot of exciting news coming in the next couple months. And I'm getting ready here at the end of the year in 3-4 weeks to head back to Ontario and start building some new cars. And, we're going to be over 30 cars here for sure by the first race next year. So in 5 years to go from 1 to over 30, we're pretty excited about that. And, watch our social media and people, maybe I'll come back and I'll chat some more, and we'll have some exciting news coming up at the end of the year and a schedule coming out, here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, you're going to be able to count on it. I guarantee you'll be back. Al, thanks so much for the time tonight. Have a great race week, and I know we look forward to it, buddy.
Awesome, bud. You have a great night.
You betcha. Watch that RS1 Cup Series, Junior. It is going to be, it's going to be exciting. Area 27, and put that much out on the line, Super Seal, man, I'll tell you what, that's cool.
Yeah, it is definitely. They've built something very special there. It's all about keeping it going, right, and keeping it growing, and looking forward to seeing where it goes.
Oh, guaranteed. And to see it on ovals, to see it on a road course, and that Area 27 Speedway, that road course, phenomenal. You gotta check it out. I wasn't one for road course racing back, 10 years ago, and I've told the story a million times on Race Time. Ron Fellows was the guy that got me to watch, and it was back when Ron was running a nationwide car.
Yep.
And he goes, Joe, will you watch Grand America? No, not Grand America.
Road America.
Road America. Watch that race. And I did. I sat down with my dad, and the two of us watched it. I've been a road course fan since.
Yep.
And CTMP, we got so many iconic, really good spots. But Area 27 definitely figures into that. We're getting close to the top of the hour. Got to throw the keys back to Sirius XM. Where are you off to this weekend? Velocity, and we want to welcome Peterborough Speedway Autumn Colors Classic is going to be where we're going to tell you lots about autumn colors all the way from here right up to the green flag. We want to welcome JP on board here at Race Time Radio, and we will hear from JP, the owner of Peterborough Speedway. It's going to be awesome this year. Autumn Colors Classic Weekend is always a big one, but this year's going to be even that much more special, Junior.
Yeah, it looks like it's they're poised to have a big year this year. This side of the pandemic, everything, full steam ahead. I think you're going to see Peterborough Autumn Colors right back to where it used to be. Last year was good.
Yeah.
But I think that you're in for a real treat this year.
And he had a lot of damage at the beginning of the year. That storm rolled through that speedway.
Yep.
And honest to God, JP and his crew have done a great job, even just to be able to run.
Exactly, putting it back together.
Yeah, they put it all back together, and they got her hooked up. That place is always fast. D-shaped oval.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to get a hold of, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's
talk about a track
unknown.
with character.
Oh, very, very much so.
Yeah, and you would have a pretty good notebook on that. You, with all the different cars that you've gone with down to that facility. Yeah, you should have a pretty good idea what it takes to get around there.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with, I've probably been to, 20 Autumn Colors, it seems. Now I'm getting old. It's a fantastic race every single time. This year I got the chance to go back there with the APC Series. Hadn't been there for a non-Autumn Colors race since, back in the day when Oscar used to go there. They've got the facility looking great, and it still races like old Peterborough, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's, it was one of the best APC races that we've seen all year, with Jake Sheridan and Ryan Kimball and J.R. Fitzpatrick and all those guys. Banging doors and putting on a show.
Well, I got to tell you, we are getting 30 seconds away. Get to a racetrack this weekend, wherever you are across this country. We haven't got many more weekends left at the speedways, right? We are middle of September. I got to thank Sue right here in the Race Time Radio studio. Got to thank Scotty back in Toronto, and I got to thank you for tuning in. Thanks, Junior, again. And that's going to do it for us. Have a good week, everybody, and we'll catch you next Sunday night right here on Sirius XM, Channel 167, Canada Talks.
Thanks for listening to Race Time Radio. Visit us on the web at www.racetimeradio.com. We hope you'll join us again next time for more Race Time Radio.
Come on now, dig.
Exclusively on your